Hi everyone, this is Alex. I thought I'd jump online and talk a little bit about my book that I'm very excited about that's coming out this week in the UK and in other places beyond that. But if you're desperate for a copy, you can, I guess, go to places like Amazon, the UK branch of Amazon, and order it and just pay the international shipping. The book, though, is very inexpensive, so you might end up paying more on the shipping than you are on the book, and I can assure you none of that's going to come to me. So, I'm really excited about the book. I hope that you'll be too, and I think it's a book that I'm really interested to see how the underwater photography community adopts and accepts it, and are excited by using it. So, it's a book called 52 Assignments Underwater Photography. And like my well known book, Underwater Photography Masterclass, it's aimed to help you take better underwater photos. But it does it in a very different way. Underwater Photography Masterclass teaches you the techniques and lays them out for you, kind of like a book of methods of underwater photography. Whereas 52 Assignments is much more of a coaching book. It sets you challenges, activities, assignments, and each of these assignments I've carefully chosen so that it allows you to experience something really important in underwater photography. That may be a photographic skill that you'll develop. It may be a compositional idea, a different way of approaching, of thinking about how you take photos. I've tried them a little bit on my workshops and they've gone down brilliantly well. People have loved the focus that it gives them during a dive or a day of diving, that it makes them think totally differently. And as a result, I think this way of trying underwater photography with these different assignments is fantastic for busting you out of those tried and tested methods that you always use and approaching your photography differently. And of course, as you work through the assignments, so your experience grows and so does that knowledge base, making you a much better photographer in the long run, just because you've tried a load of stuff that you probably wouldn't have tried if you weren't being told to try it for an assignment. The assignments are quite varied in the book. I'm just going to randomly open a page and see what we get. So this one here is about shooting sunbeams, and how to get the most out of that opportunity. I'm going to try another page here and see which one it's going to settle on. We'll go for the one my hand is in, which is a silhouette challenge. So taking on the challenge of shooting silhouettes underwater, making that a focus of your diving. This one is much more technique driven. This is off camera strobes. And there are these different techniques to try through the book. There are also challenges like working with colors or working with black backgrounds in wide angle, which that one is there. And all of these different challenges will fit into most people's normal diving very well. And when you take them on, I think that particular focus on this. So you're not just going down going, oh, look, there's a shark. Oh, look, there's a turtle. You're actually going down on the dive going, oh, I'm looking for something with circular shapes in, or I'm looking for yellow colored subjects, or I'm looking to work in a silhouetted background into my wide angle shot. And I think these different challenges, these different ways of thinking are great for expanding your horizons. The reason there's 52 is because it's part of a series of books that are supposed to be weekly photographic challenges. Now, I was very aware that most underwater photographers don't get to dive every week of the year. But I did try and tailor each of the challenges or the assignments so that they'd fit easily into a dive or at least a day of diving. Actually, it means it takes quite a long time to work through all of them. And you might want to sort of pick around the book to choose ones that suit the sorts of diving that you're doing. But if over time you can work through most of those assignments, and a couple of them you can do kind of after diving almost, you can kind of go back through your stock material and work on pictures for that, certainly for a couple of the final few. If you begin to work through them, I think you'll grow massively as a photographer. Um, of course, it is going to take a while to work through the book, and I think that's where the value of this book comes, is that it's not a book that you read once and throw away and you've learned everything from it. It's a book that it's only relatively small. If I hold it next to my face, you can see it's a relatively small book. It's lightweight, very inexpensive. You could buy one on a trip. If you're tight on baggage allowance, leave it in the resort, buy another one when you get back. They're not they're not an expensive book, but it's a book to work with. It's not a book that you read and then all that knowledge is in your head. It's a book that you take on the assignments from, and it's the process of interacting with the book that will make you a better photographer. And I think that's something really fresh, really original in underwater photography. Behind my head, it's obviously a green screen behind my head with a picture from the cover of the book on it. It's actually a photograph of this very copy of the book. This part of the cover comes down, and I took a photo of it to make this backdrop with my phone. So it's not particularly high quality backdrop, but it's quite a fun one. Anyway, behind my head, there's a bookshelf full of books on underwater photography. And a lot of those books, the older books just focus on equipment, and the newer books tend to focus on technique, just as my book Underwater Photography Masterclass does. I think this is hopefully the start of sort of a new generation of books, knowing that people can go out there on the internet and read about equipment. They can use the internet, they can use YouTube videos, they can use books, they can use magazines to learn about techniques. This book is very much designed to sort of be a step on from that, where you're actually using the book to guide your development as a photographer. And I'm really excited to see how people go about that. One aspect of the book that someone suggested relatively recently, and I've been trying to promote on Instagram and on Facebook, is to use hashtags when you take on an assignment. So if you take on assignment number 15, use the hashtag UW underwater assignment 15 in numbers after the hash, as the hashtag, when you post your pictures on Instagram, when you post your pictures on Facebook. And then other people who've got the book, who are also taking on that assignment, they can search for those hashtags before they do the assignment themselves. And then when they've done the assignment, they can also upload their pictures to the hashtag. And hopefully what that will produce is lots of small galleries on Instagram, small galleries on Facebook that are united by that hashtag. And it'll be a really valuable resource for people doing the book. And also it'll be quite fun for me to, in 6 months' time, go on to Instagram and choose which is my favorite shot from the assignment, or put some comments on them like, you could try doing this, how about thinking about that? So I think it can make a really nice community feel that comes from the book. So if you do get the book and you do try the assignments, don't forget to use those hashtags. It allows other readers to find your pictures from the assignments, but it also allows me to have a look, and I'll definitely go online on my phone and scan through some of the shots that people have taken. So underwater photography, 52 assignments. It's out this week in the UK. I really look forward to seeing what people make of it. It's got some lovely pictures in it as well. Lots of pretty pictures all through the book. And there are a whole 52 assignments, which honestly will take most people several years to work their way through. So there's a huge amount of value. And in the UK, it's the most expensive it'll ever be is £12.99. And I can assure you it's already on Amazon for a lot cheaper than that. And that's a lot less than a tube of O-ring grease even costs you. So nothing else in underwater photography is as inexpensive as this book. And given that it's several years worth of content to work through, I think that's a fantastic no-brainer. And you really should go out and buy a copy for yourself and one for all your friends as well, because it's a lovely gift to give to everyone. So that's the end of this advertising announcement. And I hope to be back on this channel again soon, now that I've finally moved house. This is my first video in my new house. And I will have my main computer connected soon, and I will finally be processing images again from all the travel that I've done this year. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.